by me fighting clap, but me sablo parliament. So supplementary blomi ikamlo government side, generally speaking. Every time we talk about cost of operations for government himself, take the easy approach of going and borrowing, and meanwhile, that stockpile blomi gone up yet, which is a matter of legitimate concern. But in all that period of debate, sari monpla man, talk law, cutting cost of operations for government, it come down, so that you may live within our means and we don't have to go out and borrow. So Amaspla budget speech miarim, plan law ministers miarim, no man talk law, cutting cost of operation. So was you running on private business, by you looking cost cutting pastime. We've never done that. So I think, Prime Minister, while you're answering all these other questions, you might also enlighten us. Wouldn't it be wise to also look at cost cutting as a means of saving ourselves on these skyrocketing debt burdens that we are creating by, which to me sounds to be the easy way out. But it takes somebody with guts to be able to stand up and say, look, let's cut the cost to the overall operation of the government so we don't have to go out and borrow and keep building up our debt stockpile.
Thank you.
So I think it's probably part of this series of discussions, Prime Minister, give me Sambla Tintin blame. Emiga Tintin cutting cost of operations. Should we go down that pathway or should we just ignore it?
Member Senator Yangamur, let me ask him Prime Minister or back him now?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Prime Minister.
This is not a supplementary. This is not a supplementary. This is advising Prime Minister.
Let me remind this House, I'm chairing this session. I decide who goes. So me asking Prime Minister, long please back him supplementary come, long sina Yangumu. Mr. Prime Minister, please. Mr. Prime Minister?
Madam Assistant Speaker, thank you, Law. Ask him or kiss him supplementary, Law. Colleague, Law Yumi Long, outside member of Law Sina. Me like moving on the motion past time long, you may extend question time by 20 minutes. So that some leaders will side to that. Bearing that yesterday and the other day we were busy paying respect to say Julius or Julius. If I could move that we adjourn question time by 20 minutes.
Yes, we extend. You may have him finish, Prime Minister, ask him, the floor, that we extend question time by another 20 minutes. Those in favor, say aye. No? Please stand, we'll stand. I like that smile. Absolute majority, members of parliament. Let's extend question time by another 20 minutes. Thank you. Mr. Prime Minister?
Thank you, Madam Assistant Speaker. I like also asking clerk, you block the front, table of front, advise him on line sit down, Speaker, that supplementary provisions, question must not be abused. No block question and no block question. Advise him or line by sit down, or like ask him question where me no block question, must no block question. I think you may also punan behind law procedure and standard from Parliament. Plenty to hide backside law supplementary and ask him no question. Can I say member of law senior ask him good law no question. Good law no question. Member, so me like you study in this plus space, me no need to lecture him you, but being leader of government business for so long, I think these are things that we could tidy up. But come back law question where member of law. Sina he asked him. This block question, a good block question. Me like ask him, put him in writing, but Salimi come, now but me like back and back good. But me like give him assurance one block indication, type of budget where government will be running. For the first time for the first time, I am the 8th Prime Minister. There are 7 Prime Ministers before me, all rotating in between. This is the first government that has elevated development budget almost on par with recurrent. Before ICAM, recurrent budgets are stabbed untapped more than 60, 70%. Now development budgets are stabbed below 30%. Today, as we speak, in 2025, population living approaching 10 million. Population before underneath long 10 million. And meaning one need long country. The recurrent element of budget supports everyday running of departments, including our provinces, including our districts. And so there must be a balanced debate. Cutting back recurrent in one block, but there must be also matching cutting back development too. So similar cutting. But we are at a point in time in the nation's history. Our 460,840 square kilometers of land, very big land mass, from swamps, from deltas, to mountains, to valleys, to islands, is needing money long support, needing departments long work. So you have a debate between cutting back, tighten your belt, and not supporting out in our sectors, or try to be extravagant and try to support the sectors. We on this side choose, in the last 6 years when we had, that we will borrow responsibly, have a growth budget, and try to get the money out to the economy. And we, as government, has supported the economy the last 6 years. We choose to go down this path. But to give assurance when in places that recurrent seems to be consumed a lot, I want to point, for instance, recurrent and money, paying policeman, paying TISA, paying health workman, and recurrent. And for the first time, I said I'll answer the question in writing, be like reply good lamb, you make clear. Recurrent display, PIP display, you got need to cutting back. I agree with the Prince of Holy. Some unnecessary areas need to be cut. And yesterday we saw responsibility. Instead of creating nuclear department, a lot of department of petroleum staff, we made redundant petroleum department, subsume all into one structure now. Instead of before, you create an MRA, now you let a mining department staff. We're moving that step. Very soon, we're going to fold in mining department. This is what you meant. I appreciate the gist of the question, but I want to impress to all of us. In the long run, for the first time, we've now elevated almost PIP budget on par with recurrent. Before, used to be recurrent at 70%, PIP at 30%. We've now brought them almost on par. But the idea that we must cut unnecessary waste is a good idea, Mr. Member for Sina, through you, Madam Assistant Speaker. I will get back a formal written statement, if not an answer to the question, a statement to the Parliament on the status quo at present. Thank you, Madam Assistant Speaker.
Thank you.